This ABC15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford.
I'm Katie Rammel with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. As the storm makes its way through the Carolinas now, Florida residents are working to pick up the pieces after Hurricane Ian struck. A Valley woman feared for her life when it ripped through Cape Coral, forcing her family to evacuate and seek shelter away from the water. Jana Humbert flew to Florida before the hurricane made landfall. That was to help her parents leave their home. They took shelter at her sister's house, which is away from the water. And while they're all okay, surviving through the aftermath has been brutal.
You have no air, you have no food, you have no water. You don't know what the next moment's going to be for your family. Are they going to survive? This is it. This internet that we have right now, I might not have internet again for another 24 hours.
So the main concern right now is getting her dad the medical attention he needs, because she says some doctors' offices are closed or underwater. She says once her parents are taken care of, she'll make her way back to the valley here in Fountain Hills. Our partners at Newsy also looking at ways that ongoing and unchecked climate change is expected to make hurricanes like Ian the norm in the future. When the ocean stays warmer for longer, storms don't need a lot of time to get stronger. Experts believe the number of storms with winds above 110 miles an hour is going to go up every year. Our warming world also allowing clouds to hold more water, leading to torrential downpours and rising sea levels. That's also making the storm surge more lethal.
We know for sure that the ocean is rising because we're making the world warmer, ice melts, water expands because it's warmer. So the water level goes up, storm comes, pushes the water on shore, we have a higher storm surge.
Right now, scientists say the window is just a few years to take serious action to fight climate change and avert global climate disaster. Phoenix police investigating after finding a body in a burning car. Fire crews rushing to the scene of this car around 2 in the morning near 59th Avenue and McDowell. Christopher Clements has been found guilty in the death of a 13-year-old Tucson girl. The guilty verdict coming down this afternoon. Clements could face life in prison, but his punishment will not be known until he's sentenced in a few weeks. Meantime, in February, Clements will go to trial in a separate case following the disappearance and death of a 6-year-old girl. Failure to address alleged harassment. That's what the Peoria Unified School District is accused of tonight. The Department of Education says the harassment involves students and employees at Vistancia Elementary. During this investigation, officials say at least a dozen students of color were harassed based on race, color, and national origin by a number of peers. The department's Office for Civil Rights believes the staff at the school was aware of the harassment and the district responded ineffectively or not at all. The district has agreed to an extensive list of corrective action, including annual staff training and education programming. One mariachi group in the Old Pueblo is getting a chance to show off their musical talents on the national stage. Mariachi Atzlan has been invited to represent the state of Arizona in the National Independence Day Parade next July, in hopes of spreading culture through music.
I feel like there's such a big culture behind it that not a lot of people get to know. And I think being a part of it is just a really big privilege to be surrounded by this community that supports each other.
The group will be fundraising for the trip throughout the year and have started a GoFundMe to help pay for their travel costs.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Amber Sullins tracking your weekend forecast here in the Valley. Temperatures expected to stay in the 90s this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, and pretty similar both days with by 8 a.m. those temps in the low 80s, by noon temperatures in the low 90s and then upper 90s in the afternoon hours. We've also got a slight chance for storms, about a 20% shot here in Phoenix for Saturday and Sunday. Here's a look at Futurecast as we take you through Saturday. By about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, storms right on our doorstep. So we'll have to watch out for gusty winds from these and maybe 1 or 2 new pop-out storms as those gusty winds come through the Phoenix metro. Here's the next 7 days for you. We're going to keep these highs in the upper 90s through the weekend and into next week too. And a slight chance of isolated storms still in play through early next week here in the Valley. Up north, storm chances stretching through the entire first week of October as our monsoon drags on a little longer than normal.
For the latest headlines, weather, and traffic, head to abc15.com or download our free ABC15 mobile app.
This ABC15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. All roads lead to Sanderson Ford.